Okay, let's talk about 1983. 1983, there was a lot of stuff happening that year. That's the year that my dad, Gary, had a sort of spiritual, or like probably the peak of his spiritual episode or whatever, hyper religious, the Davidic stuff that comes out when you hit your 30s or late 20s. He was so smart it happened in his late 20s. Let's see, I was born in 82, but I died in 83. That's when I was resuscitated miraculously after being dead 8 minutes, no brain damage. In fact, I spoke my first word and said, as I coughed at the water after a little infant CPR by my mom, who's a nurse. Uh, she, CPR, I'm like, get the water up and, Mama. She's like, this kid should be dead. He just spoke his first word and then said that I seemed different after that. So, my dad's having his spiritual thing. I, I die and I'm resuscitated. That's when God went, whoop, nope. There you go. This guy believes so much. He's going to get he's going to lose his family, his reputation, uh, all his money, everything except his business. And the only reason he didn't lose more than, or he didn't lose his business because he had to hold something back so he could, because he had to think about support payments for me and my brother. That's why the root of David, his role as the root of David, was relinquished when he had my brother in 81 and then me in 82. But it was relinquished in 81 because, like me in 2017, when I started to lose everything and then lost everything I had in 18, I didn't have kids to think about. I'm the root. So that means I could walk from every responsibility, right? Because I knew I was the only one to suffer once I, had a settlement with my ex-wife. No kids to think about, no future. So I could run at it with everything. And that's why you have to be the root of David, okay? So anyway, he has this thing. I die, I'm resuscitated. Let's see what else happened. The Kilauea volcano. He believed so much that God triggered that. He just didn't realize because he got caught up with divorce and house and all this crap from the marriage. He didn't realize that he triggered the eruption of Kilauea, which started erupting in 83. And then, has erupted ever since, sort of since then, not that bad, but really popped off in 2018 when the root finally had his experience, and he fucking ran with it. That's why he saw the largest eruption in 200 years at that motherfucker. Anyway, okay, so Kilauea popped off too. Global temperatures. If you look at a chart, global temperatures, it kind of is like, it's a little bit, and then 83, boom, 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 boom. You see, but it really starts to pop off in 83. That's also when our major climate change research really went into effect. When you kind of look back, you're going to see all these reports in 2019 about, oh, well, since we've been tracking X or Y or Z in 83, since 83, there you go. Love of my life, she was born in 83. So there you go, there's another event. And then also, Donald Trump had an article in Manhattan Inc. magazine where he popped off about his aspirations to close a Mideast peace deal. Started hanging out with President, I think, Reagan or whatever, back in 83. Maybe it was 82, but he was talking about it. And now, since then, he's been working for 35 years, since I was, died and resuscitated, for 35 years, trying to get this thing done. And now that he's coming pretty fucking close, 2018, a week before I had the Kilauea volcano, my prediction that it would hit on the 20th of 2018 in May of 2018. A week before, he had Kushner go out to Jerusalem and inaugurate the U.S. Embassy. And his first major move, having worked toward the Mideast peace plan, or treaded on the holy city. He's a Gentile, the crew Gentiles, Kushner's Jewish, but treading on the holy city for 42 months. Well, that started on January 20th of 2017, and they moved the embassy and inaugurated it officially on May 14th, and then 6 days later, I had my Sea of Glass and Fire from Revelation. So once they moved that, desolations are decreed. But God anticipated this shit way back since the first century AD, but when Trump started to pop off about it in 83, there's something else that went down too. And also the song White Horse, I think it was released in 82, but it got popular in 83, or maybe it got released in 83. So I see different opinions. Some sources say it was released in 83, others say 82. Either way, it says, if you're going to ride, don't ride the white horse, ride the white pony instead. In that little documentary I made, we were partying on the white horse. So that happened too. So basically, when my dad ran at it with everything he had and lost all of it except his business, family, friends, dignity, business contacts, everything except his business, he was living. I think he was just like quasi homeless. Okay, but he still had the kids to think about, so he couldn't throw the business in the fire too, because he wasn't the root of David. But all that shit transpired, and this thing's been in the mix. The Davidic line has been sniffing around this bastard since the 80s. Well, at least since my dad was involved. But really, his mom sniffing around on this. She did it a total of 80 years, maybe since the 40s. Probably the 40s is when she started. So when you tack on her total of 80 years working at this, or 75 years, his 35 years, my 2 years, and even my brother threw in about a year. Okay? We've been working toward this since, we have a total, and this doesn't even count other generations before our grandmother, before my dad's mom. We've been working toward this goal since, or for a total of probably nearly, when this thing's all said and done in July 2020, for 120 years. Same age as Moses when he died, but a collective of 120 years. And God has finally said, okay, you guys put all the work in. Your grandmother laid the groundwork. Your dad, he proved God's ark, God wants his altar back, but he proved God's ark through geology, God's existence through geology. And, my older brother, he took a crack at solving Babylon, which he pretty much did. But you got to put the whole thing together, and that's why you need a lion, the root of David. And I bring this bastard home. So finally God says, all right, lion's here now. We're good. Pitch him the keys. We got the story. He recorded the whole thing right from the beginning. And, now we have the keys to hell and death. So yeah. But it all kicked off really, big time in 83. Lots of important shit happened. I'm trying to think if anything else went down in 83. I don't know. White Horse, Sea Glass and Fire, Antichrist. What else? Second Coming, right? Dad Harrelson's Second Coming. James, Yaakov in Hebrew. Lots of stuff happening. Oh, and then the Esther character also was born in 83. Love it. Have a nice night, guys.